Sir David Davis.
Today we speak on behalf of our veterans and the 176,000 members of the public who have so far signed the petition to give those veterans protection against the vexatious legal pursuit of our brave heroes. Last week when I raised this in the House, the Prime Minister dismissed it as political point scoring. He's wrong. It's a matter of justice, a matter of ensuring that those who risk their lives to protect our citizens during the Troubles know the state stands behind them. Our soldiers have been held to the highest standards of law, and yet our government is rewarding this by effectively threatening them in their retirement. And that's not a proper election. And remember, we've been talking about human rights. That is not a proper reflection of their human rights, because they are human beings too. They have human rights. I've called on the government now 6 times to end this campaign of retrospective parody of justice, but have received so far no meaningful answer. And I hope we get one today. But I'll finish by saying this, Mr. Chairman. Today we talk a lot about human rights. In the adjournment debate, I read a poem I first heard at a Remembrance Day service, a regimental Remembrance Day service. And I'll read it again today because I think it's extraordinarily relevant. And I quote, "It's the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It's the soldier, not the peace camp organizer, who has given us the freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier who serves beneath the flag, whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. It's the soldier, not the politician, who has given these freedoms." Those who freely talk about human rights would do well to remember that our rights, our law, our democracy, our nation were protected by the very veterans who are at risk today. So let us all make one promise, that no British soldier will ever again be abandoned by the very nation they have so bravely protected.
We don't have clapping within the House of Commons, so please restrain.
Sir David Davis's speech focuses on defending the rights of British veterans who once risked their lives to protect the nation during the Troubles. He criticizes the government for allowing these veterans to face what he describes as vexatious legal prosecutions, cases that, in his view, are more about harassment than justice. For Davis, this is not simply a legal issue, but a moral one, a betrayal of those who sacrificed for their fellow citizen. Importantly, Davis highlights the link between human rights and the role of the soldier. He cites a poem reminding the audience that fundamental freedoms, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to protest, were not granted by politicians or activists, but secured by the sacrifices of soldiers. This sets up a powerful paradox. While society praises human rights, the very people who made those rights possible are now threatened by the legal system. Davis ends with a clear call to action. Britain must never again abandon its soldiers. For him, this is not only a question of justice, but also one of moral duty and national gratitude. His speech frames the treatment of veterans as a test of whether the nation truly honors those who protected its democracy.
But the intention of today's press conference is, and it's part of showing you how seriously we are taking the Scottish Parliament elections. It's for me to introduce Graham Simpson, MSP. He's been in the Parliament since 2017. For Central Scotland. He, of course, has been a Conservative, but I understand, Graham, that may be about to change. So please, it's all yours.
Well, thanks very much, Nigel. Last night I was asked to send Nigel's team my CV, or a bit of a biog. What I left out of that was that I'm a member of the cross-party group on beer and pubs, and I thought you'd like that, and we often do visit breweries and pubs, mainly in the Edinburgh area. So I know you perhaps didn't have a good experience in an Edinburgh pub a few years ago, but maybe we can maybe we can change that at some point, Nigel. Now, it's fair to say that some of you won't be surprised to see me here, given that the Scottish Tories have been touting my name as a potential defector for months now. So today I'm giving them what they want, but perhaps not for the reasons that they think. Leaving the party that I first joined when I was 15 is an enormous wrench, and I've been through a lot of soul searching in the past few weeks. I've written to Russell Finlay, resigning from the Scottish Conservatives, but frankly the letter is not worth sharing, because besides saying that I'm off, the only other thing it says is to wish him all the best for the future. And I mean that on a personal level. When Murdo Fraser first stood for the leadership of the Scottish Conservatives in 2011, he did so suggesting that we needed a new centre-right party in Scotland, and I agreed at that time with that analysis. But the independence referendum came along, and all such talk went away. The referendum was a gift to the Tories, and with that, and with the threat of such upheaval gone, I think their electoral hopes are diminishing fast. To be honest, and I think you all know this, the constitutional battle has got in the way of good government and good opposition here. We have neither. But with a new kid on the block, Reform, the kind of centre-right party envisaged all those years ago, we can at least have one of those. Now, I've been thinking about my future for some time. I decided a few months ago that I would not be standing for the Scottish Conservatives again, and others have taken the same decision. I told the party that at the end of May, but with the Hamilton by-election looming, where Ross did very, very well, I promised not to say anything. I've not stuck out a press release or said anything on social media. I honestly thought the most likely scenario for me would be to move on to the next stage of my life and find a job in one of the sectors that really interest me, such as housing or transport. And although finding a job may not have been easy, I think I have enough respect out there to have got something that would have excited me. But I've watched Reform with interest, and I see the opportunity to help to create something fresh here in Scotland. And it's clear that the voters agree in increasing numbers.